Hello, everyone.
How are you?
Good. How are you? Sorry, I'm like 2 minutes late. I don't know. I thought I had like 10 minutes and I had three. Just let everyone get signed in. I think actually I must have a full class. This is awesome. Awesome. So, having some technical issues with my last class, which was great for the first day. um, so hopefully I fixed that before I have 12 people entered the waiting room. I don't even have a waiting room. That's interesting. That's new to me. I'll have to check that out. I don't typically do a waiting room because someone wants to come late. Then I don't have to think about that. I do the passcode instead, which is just our course in the section, our number section. So it's the 14502. So on the announcements page on my courses, I took out the link that was causing some problems last class. People were going to the link and they couldn't get in with the passcode. I don't know. I don't know what that's about. But anyways, that was a different class issue. So anyways, welcome to Stat 1, everyone. I'm super excited about our first day. So many mixed emotions, this semester. So I'm going to go over the syllabus with you, go over a little bit of stuff. We're going to get right started with the class. Oops, I got more. I don't like this waiting room thing. Interesting. So I'm Professor Graff, by the way, and I'm really excited. I love Stat 1. Just a little bit about myself. I've been teaching at RIT for a while. I teach mainly Stat 1 and Stat 2 right now, but I also teach some college algebra courses and I teach pre-calc stuff once in a while. I used to do that more, now more on the stat side. I have my master's in applied math, which I got from RIT. So I know how you feel. Like I've been in your shoes before going to school at RIT. My actual study and my work and my research is in queuing theory, which brings me back to the stats side of things. So that's why I'm here. I've actually always known I wanted to be a math professor since I was in high school. Interesting. So that's a little bit about myself. I do have a little guy. He's 7. He's a little hockey player. Loves sports. And once in a while, he'll pop in and he loves to say hi to you guys. He goes to school full-time every day, all day. I love it. I love that our school district is doing that right now, so I can focus. But once in a while, he's home for whatever they do, like a virtual day here and there. So you guys will probably see him because he likes to say hi. So anyways, I'm going to actually pull up on my courses. I have to do it individually first, I think, here. And I'm going to pull up the, just pull up our class. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen possibly with you guys. And, oh, okay. Let's see. All right, there we go. I'm going to share my screen and show you my courses and we'll navigate a little bit. So here you can see, hopefully, my courses page. Let me know if you cannot see it. And on here, this is just our home page, and you'll see my little welcome announcement, which I did send, I think, an email. I think I sent you guys an email. But anyways, you'll see here's our course ID and passcode. Obviously, if you're here listening to me, you've already found that. It's also in the calendar. I just want to show you really quick. You see this widget right here on the home page, and it says Pearson My Lab. That's where you will go for the homework. Okay, so I just wanted to mention that. I'm going to go over here to content, and under content, you will see Stats 1 folder, and under Stats 1 folder, you're going to find the syllabus. So I'm just going to click on that, and I'm going to look at this with you guys real quick. So our class is an online synchronous class, meaning that I teach live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 12:20 to 1:10. I do expect you to be present during that time. I do record these lectures, and I do scan my notes, and I post all of that in my courses. So you do have access to that, but this is not an actual virtual class or actual online class where you go at your own pace. This is a synchronous class, so I'm actually teaching live. Okay. The prereqs for this class are 101 and 111, which is college algebra and pre-calc. You probably really could do it without them. So again, here in the syllabus has our course Zoom and code, my name, and my office. I will not be in my office at all, okay? I'm never in the office. I have been in my office 2 times since last spring break. My calendar still says March in there. I still have Valentine's Day candy from last year. It's kind of like eerie. It's like a little weird for me, but I will not be in my office. I'm doing all of my office hours online over Zoom. And you can see my office hours are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1:10 to 2:10. So directly after our class. And on Fridays, 11 to 12, right before our class, or of course by appointment. And I see I did not put, oh, right here it is above it, the ID for Zoom and the code for those office hours. If you look on my courses calendar, you will also see the like office hours and stuff like that, and the information how to get there on my courses calendar. So you'll see all that. So in this class, we have our book. You do not need to purchase the hard copy of the book. I do not require that. What I do require you to buy is the access code for my Stat Lab and my for the Pearson homework, okay? So what that gets you is it gets you access to the homework, and it gives you an online version of the book. It's around $115 or $140. I'm not really sure because it's so hard. I can't see what you guys see. So when you go to purchase that, you could purchase it right online through the website, like using the widget on the homepage of my courses, or you can go through the bookstore. It's the same price. So it doesn't matter which way you go. And if you're going through the bookstore, you could probably use other means of paying, where if you go online, you just use your credit card, okay? I want you to keep in mind when you do that, there's, like I said, there's a couple different versions. The extended version, I believe, is for 2 years. That's for those students who know they're taking Stat 2 and they're taking the chance that the Stat 2 professor they're going to work with will use the same book. Okay. I don't know. Otherwise, like for me, if you take Stat 2 with me, I use the same book. So if someone just took Stat 1 with me last semester, they knew that and they took a chance on it, and they may have purchased the extended version, and then they don't have to buy a book or the code or anything this semester. It's kind of a chance because not all the professors use the same book, and we may even switch books at any time. So I don't want to say, it's like a chance if you do that. Otherwise, you're taking the chance of having to buy it all over again. So I'm not sure how to direct you with that, because we have been kind of in the talk about looking at other books, to be honest. So normally we just use the same book. So it's hard for me to direct you with that. Okay, but that's the book you need. It's the ebook. Or of course, if you want the hard copy, if you want the hard copy, make sure you purchase the brand new version. The brand new version will come with the code. Make sure it says it comes with the code so you're not buying two different things. Okay, I don't want you to waste your money for that. Okay, so if you just logged on to Pearson My Lab that you'll see in here, it will ask you for a course ID. There is no course ID. I don't give it to you and I won't give it to you. I'm going to have it, but I won't give it to you. The reason for that is because I want you to go on through my courses and use that widget on the homepage. What happens there is when you sign up and create your login through there just the first time, you don't have to do it every time, but just the first time, what it does is it creates a link from your username into my grade book. So your homework grade is automatically loaded in to the grade book on my courses from homework all the time. If I had to manually do it, I can't keep up with it with all my classes, and then I fall behind and you don't really know where you stand with your homework. So this way it uploads it automatically. Okay. I know I'll still get questions, and that's okay about that. The technology in this class, I used to, last year, I actually used to make you, not make you, but require you, so kind of make you, purchase a calculator, a graphing calculator, one of the TIs. And I actually changed it up this year, not just this semester, but last semester even. I tried it out. And I'm letting you kind of use whatever technology you want. So you can use your graphing calculator. You could use Minitab 19. You can use JUMP, which is JMP, or Excel. So you know what, guys? I'm actually going to stop sharing the screen and I'll let you guys pull up the syllabus on your own, and I'm going to talk about it so at least you can still see me. Okay, so I'll let you guys, I better pull it up someplace. I'll let you guys pull it up on your own screen if you want, and I want to still talk about it, but then at least you can see me. Otherwise, you're not seeing me. So I just require you to use one of those technologies. I don't want you to go out and buy one of these calculators for whatever, $150 or whatever they are now. You can get these on eBay, sometimes for like $20. So that's an option. If you already have one, or if like your roommate has one and they don't care if you use it the whole semester, that's an option, right? So just make sure it's one of the calculators listed, or you may use Excel, or you may use JUMP, or you may use Minitab. Just know Minitab 19 is free for all RIT students. So all you would do for that, if you would Google RIT Minitab 19, and you can do the download. It has it for Macs and for Windows. So either one, but if you have like a Chromebook that you can't download, then that would be an issue for you. Okay, so just choose an option that works best for you. I want you to know when I give directions for technology, I will give it for the 84 plus calculator, which normally if you have one of the other calculators that you can figure it out, it's fairly similar or almost exactly the same. And I will give it to you for Minitab. I will not give directions for Excel, and I'm not going to give them for JUMP because I don't know JUMP, although JUMP is fairly similar to Minitab, and you could probably figure it out. But I don't know JUMP, so I'm not going to act like I do know it and give you directions. Excel, I used to do all this stuff on Excel so many years ago, and I just have not in a long time. Again, it's also similar, but I don't want to give you directions on it when I haven't used it in a while. Okay, so just keep that in mind when you determine which type of technology you want to use. You will be using the technology in class, on team assignments, and on exams. So make sure whichever one you choose it soon. You'll also need it for homework. So make sure you choose it soon so you can get familiar with it. I don't want you just to all of a sudden get a calculator right before an exam and say, that's what I'm using, and then have a hard time using it, okay? So keep that in mind, all right? So in our class, I do take attendance every day. I want you to be here. I want you to learn the material. I want you to hear what I have to say so you understand it. And I feel like if you're not here, it's not the same, right? It's not the same if you just read the notes rather than hearing or, seeing what's going on right live. It's a totally different experience than just reading notes. We do have the homework, like I talked about in the My Stat Lab. That is going to be where we're going to do homework every week. Homework is due every Monday night at 11:59 p.m. I will not remind you. I might remind you one more time, but I won't remind you on a weekly basis. I just expect for you to know you have homework due every Monday night at 11:59 p.m. Make sure you have it done. The homework is all online. I love the Pearson. I love there's things I don't love about it, but then there's things I do love about it. So I don't love that sometimes the wording is different from what my wording, but I kind of do like that because then it gets used to different wording. So I think that's good. Sometimes the topics are like seem a little different from what I did in class, and that's okay. Just go with it. It doesn't always have to be so cut and dry and very strict. It's not like that in stats. What I do absolutely love about Pearson is it has videos to walk you through problems. It has just like little messages, and it'll walk you through an exact problem, and then it will let you go back and retry the problem, but just different numbers. I love that about Pearson. It's so helpful, and it's 24/7. So if you're doing homework at 3 a.m. and I'm asleep and you have a question, you can just ask your homework, right? How to do the problem and how to work through it. And you get that help. And I love that about it. Okay. So there's definitely pros and cons to My Stat Lab, and you'll see that as you go through. Another con is that it's a computer grading your homework. So if you meant to type in 1.2 as an answer and you typed in 1, 2, it's going to mark you wrong because it doesn't know. Where if I was grading it, right, I would know that you just typed in the wrong thing. So just keep that stuff in mind, and it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Late homework is accepted. It's just already set up in Pearson, and I think it takes 10% off every day that you hand it in late. Okay, so you don't need to tell me you're handing in late. Just go ahead and do it. I do sometimes at the end of the semester drop some of those homework grades, but it's not in the syllabus, so don't count on it. I'm just telling you. Sometimes at the end of the semester, I might drop some. Okay, so don't count on that, but I just like to tell you ahead of time. Sometimes I do that. Let's see what else about the homework. So on the homework, they have what's called StatCrunch. That's actually another technology you can use. And you probably could use that for the test and everything, but I don't really use StatCrunch, and it's very similar to Minitab, but I don't use it, so I couldn't give you direction on it. But you don't have to use StatCrunch on your homework. So if you're using your calculator, you can use your calculator to get your answers. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. All right, so the first homework assignment will already be open. I have it so it's just automatically open at 8 a.m. every Monday morning, and then it's due the next Monday, 11:59, except for this first week. So this first week, yes, the homework is open right now. You can see it. You probably can do it. But I don't have the due date set for February 1st, which would be in 1 week. I have it set for the 8th, which is in 2 weeks. The reason why I do that for the first week is just so everyone can get their online access code purchased, get signed in, get used to the system, and not be stressed out about it. So just know on February 8th, you have homework assignments from this week due, and the homework assignments that will open next week will also be due. So you have double the amount of assignments due, but you have the same amount of time. It's just extra time for those people that need that time to get logged in. Okay. So I do quizzes in this class. I do quizzes every week. Typically our Monday class will start with a quiz, and it's a quiz from the previous week. It's not a quiz to give you a bad grade. It's a quiz for you to realize if you understand what we did last week or not. Okay. It's your own, I give you an evaluation. It's all done online. So you won't get any of my notes. Like I won't handwrite and say, oh, you should have done this or whatever. If you get it wrong, I want you to look to see why you got it wrong and what you can do to, improve that and realize what went wrong in there. Okay. So that's what those quizzes are intended for. They are not intended for a bad grade. They're intended for you to realize if you don't understand something so you can fix it before it's late. Okay. That's what those quizzes are. They will start, they're like 3-minute quizzes. They're open book, open notebook. There's really no restrictions on it. You can use your technology, all of that stuff. It's just a quick little quiz like, oh, what did we do last week? Here's one topic. I'm going to ask you a question on it. And I do drop a couple of those lowest grades. You'll see that it's already set up for 2. So the first one you'll do next week, it will show that it's dropped. Even if you got a 100%, because it's like one little question, it'll just say dropped because it drops the first 2 until you get 3, and then it'll drop the lowest 2. It's just how the computer is set up for that. In our class, we do team activities. And in our team activities, I already have you guys pre-grouped in teams. You're going to work with your team on a daily, or I should say more like a weekly assignment. So it's an assignment that goes with each lecture. So like today is lecture 1 and the next class will be lecture 2. So you're going to have team assignment 1 and team assignment 2 posted, and you'll have time in class to work on it. So sometimes if I don't talk too much during lecture, you'll have time to do it after lecture before time is over, or we always have Fridays. So Friday class will not be lecture. Friday class will always be team assignments. Okay. Your teams are already pre-assigned. You don't pick your team. I pick your team. And to be honest, I do it. Sorry. My dog. Team assignments are based. Sorry, let me just close this. Sorry about that. So team assignments, I almost just fell out of my chair. So teams are, to be honest, picked by last name. I have it by alphabetical order and I just put them in there. So anyway, so we're going to do team assignments with every lecture. We have Friday. They will be due at the end of class on Friday, and I'm strict on that time because I'm going to grade them right after class on Friday. Okay. So you'll see in my courses, it'll have a team assignments tab under show us your dog. Maybe I'll get them after I just shut the door on them. I'll try to get them after to show them. So the under content, you'll see team assignments, and under team assignments, you'll see like assignment 1, assignment 2, right? And you'll just click on that, download it. It's a Word doc, you'll type it in, and then you're gonna upload it to the assignment Dropbox on my courses, okay? 1 per group. I want you guys to take turns doing it. I don't want it always to be the same person, okay? I'll address more with the team assignments as we get moving with team assignments. 2 exams. We have 2 exams throughout the semester plus the final exam. The final exam is for everyone to take. So you have to take the final. All the exams are 20%. So I know that's a lot, 60% for all of the exams together. But it's all right. It'll be all right. I'm not a super tough grader. I mean, it depends, but I'm not really. To be transparent with you guys. So our quizzes are 10%, team activities are 20%. It's so important for you to be here on a Friday and in class participating. You do not get those points if you're not there participating. I will include little team assessments. So your team members will be rating your performance every week because that's going to affect your team grade. Okay, not for the whole team, but for you individually. So if you're not really working and you just have your camera off and you're sleeping and you're letting your team do your work, they're going to report that because they're going to get tired of it, right? And that will affect your grade. Okay, just to be clear, so we all know, don't be that one person in the class. This happens every semester. Don't be the one person in class that doesn't purchase the homework, Pearson, because it's 10% of your grade. So there's always one person, and they happen to be like an A student or a B student. And then all of a sudden they lose 10%, and now they're a B or a C student. You see what I mean? I hate that. I hate when someone is an A student and they have A's on exams and all of their work, and then they don't do the homework, and I have to give them a B. Like, I don't like that. So please don't be that one student. It happens every semester. It happens. I warn you guys. You'll see on the syllabus our grading scale. It's just the school's grading scale. It's not mine. There's outside help. So there's a Bates Study Center that's free walk-in tutoring. The Soul Study Center, same thing. I would say C when there's a stats person there. So you actually can get stats help because stats and math are separate and not all math people know stats. And then there's the Academic Support Center in the SAU or Monroe Hall, and you can get evaluated and get some help there. They're great. And I believe they're doing in-person help. They probably are doing online help as well. And there's the NTID Study Center at the base of Gosnell. And they're great at their Academic Support Center as well. Okay, those are great resources. And of course, me. Okay, of course, see me, chat with me, email me, whatever. Okay, and I love to help. On the syllabus, you're going to see a tentative schedule. It just gives you an idea of what's happening, what lectures I'm doing, what topics I'm covering, not necessarily topics, but chapters. When the exams are, we will review for exams. I do give you a review sheet, all of that stuff. So you can see everything, what to expect on there. Oh, the sun just came out really bright. That's why I just turned really white all of a sudden. At the bottom of the syllabus, you will see the academic integrity. So I take this very seriously. So we've had some cheating going on last semester, and it wasn't my students, but it was other students. And so I just wanted you to know that cheating is not allowed in this course. All work submitted is to be your own work, not someone else's work. And cheating isn't just you submitting work from someone else. It's that person that gave you their work to use. That's also cheating. And I do have to report it. So if I do see cheating and I do see the same work being submitted between two people, I do have to report it. They're taking it very seriously at RIT. So I'm a nice professor, but I still don't want to be taken advantage of, and I don't want people cheating. Okay, so keep that in mind and have some academic integrity. So like what do you mean? Can people work together? Like on homework? Absolutely, work together. On team assignments? Absolutely, you'll be working together. On quizzes, it's not my favorite thing for people to work together, but I can't really stop that. The exams, absolutely not working together. An exam is your own individual exam, okay? But homework, I love that idea. I love for two people to be on Zoom together, or maybe they live in the same dorm or something and they're chatting with how to solve this problem. I think that's a great idea. And you're going to get to know your team members, and you might even do that with your team members. Okay. Yeah, it's awesome working together, but not on exams. Okay. Quizzes during class. I'm going to have quizzes. I don't know. I'm going to start with them during class. I probably will switch that. I had to switch it last semester. There's too many students that came late because they were rushing from another class, and I get it because I'm rushing from another class, and they needed additional time. So I usually started it in the semester where it was in the beginning of class, and it was only open for the beginning, and then I had to start extending that. So we'll see how it goes. I'll let you know. I will let you know for sure. Any other questions for me? So, guys, I try to keep an eye on the chat and I try to answer questions, but when I'm lecturing, I'm like kind of over here writing and I don't always see it come up. So you may have to just interrupt me and say, hey, Professor Graff, I got a question on this. I don't get it. Guys, I don't bite. I really want you guys to ask me questions, okay? So if you're stuck on something, when you leave class, you're confused, I would rather you stay after class for like 5 minutes in our Zoom and ask me. I would rather you email me something, come see me during my office hours and actually take that time to understand so you don't fall behind. I hate that. I don't want anyone to fall behind because sometimes there's circumstances when we're ill and we really can't help and we do fall behind. But when we're well and we're present and we can ask a question, I'd rather you guys do it. And I don't mind if you don't want to ask in the middle of class. I never did when I was in school. I just didn't. I always waited. That's okay. All right. So when will you be doing the team activities during class? So always on Fridays. And yes, they will be due at the end of Friday's class. Sometimes after class, like today, I kind of wanted to do a team activity, but I'm talking too much. You're not going to have time. I probably won't even get through lecture today. And that's okay. It's not a big deal as long as they're done by Friday. Team activities are for in-class time. They are not meant for out-of-class time. So I want you guys to know that. You should not have to do them outside of class unless you're missing class and you set up with me to work on it separately outside of class for a certain situation. Okay. So team rules are due Wednesday. I don't know. I just have it posted. I didn't even look to see if I have a due date on it. No, let's not. We'll do them Friday. We'll have them done by the end of Friday. How about that? The end of class Friday for the team rules. Okay, this is a great question. So how are you going to communicate with your team members during class? I'm going to, I already have it set up, actually, breakout rooms on Zoom. So I already set you up by your name and your RIT username. So what I'll do is I will set up the breakout rooms. If you go onto my courses, you go under the tab that says groups, you will see what group number you are in. It's alphabetical. So if your last name starts with a B, you probably are in group 1 and not group 11. So just make sure, hopefully it makes sense, right? Unless you have a hyphenated last name, sometimes that one kind of tricks me up a little bit. So keep that in mind though too. So you should see your group number. And what I'm going to ask you to do is when you join Zoom to go over your name on your Zoom. And I think it's the 3 buttons. You're going to click on that. And then it's like the 4th option down and it offers to rename. And when you rename, I'll have you put your number in front of your name. So if you're in group 1, then you're going to put 1 and then your name. And unfortunately, if you probably will have to do that all the time for our class, but it's so if you are logged into Zoom as a different person than your RIT username, I can quickly put you into your breakout room. Okay. All right. I love the questions. Although I do have a little extra I wanted to do today. We have 16 minutes. We'll see. We'll see how fast I can get through it. If I don't get through it, it's okay. This class is a pretty slow paced class, and I could get through a lot if I need to speed it up or if I need to take time out of like another day. I usually can do that. So, and you guys are actually my only Stat 1 class this semester, so we can kind of be at our own pace. I don't have to keep up with like another section. Stat 2, on the other hand, I've got 3 of those. So those guys, I have to stay on the same page all the time. Any other questions for me at all before we get started? Where to find anything? Okay, so if you are using interpreting services or captioning services in this class, you need to let me know so I can assign your interpreter and maybe let your interpreter know what class number you're in. You could always let me know and I can let the interpreter know, however you want to do that. So I can assign your interpreter to your class, your group, if you want the interpreter there. Not all the students want the interpreter there because they use the chat, they use all different things, and that's fine with me. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right, I love this. Okay, guys, so I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to do some handwritten notes. Like I mentioned before, I will post these. I will post this video, which this video is kind of long because I recorded through the whole going over the syllabus thing. But yeah, so I love it if you guys take some notes too and follow along. So I have to actually look at this, the shadow here from the sun. I'm not complaining. But I have to close my blinds. There we go. Okay. I had this last semester just towards the end. The sun just wrapped around my house towards the end of the semester. There we go. Okay. And I apologize, my handwriting's messy. I'm telling you now, if you don't get something or you can't understand something, let me know. Don't hesitate to ask. So we're going to start with bad markers, evidently. The chapter 1 we're going to look at today. If I don't get through this, I'll continue next class. Chapter 1, oh my goodness, 2 bad markers. Chapter 1 is data collection. There it is. So in chapter 1, it just gives us an idea of what's going on. And the very first thing I'm going to define for you, and I'm not going to give you a whole bunch of definitions, although stats can be really made up of a bunch of definitions, is what we're doing here, which is statistics. That's my first definition. So statistics is the science of collecting organizing, summarizing, and analyzing information to draw conclusions. So what we're going to talk about today is this collecting a little bit, which we actually don't really do, not us in step 1. Researchers really do it in real life, but so I want you to know about it, but we're not going to do this in this class. What we're going to focus on is the organizing, summarizing, analyzing. Okay. So in the beginning chapters, it's organizing. In chapter 2, summarizing. We start in chapter 3, and you continue with all the summarizing and analyzing, and you really draw a lot of conclusions in that analyzing in the last few chapters. We're going to analyze throughout even these beginning chapters, but we get to really good conclusions in the last couple of chapters of the semester. Okay, so I want you to know a couple things, and I try to write a lot down. Once in a while I have to verbalize a few things. So in statistics, we study what we call a population. A population is the entire group, okay, that you're going to study. And then we have an individual. An individual is one person, okay? And from that, we have a sample. A sample is just a subset of that group. So for example, the population that we're going to study could be our class. And it would be the entire class, okay? And then the individual would be one of you. So each of you is an individual in the class, and then a sample might just be all people wearing red today. That might be sample. Okay, so that's what we're studying when we're talking about statistics: population, individuals, and samples. This is going to be one of the things you're going to look at on your team assignment, when your first team assignment. Okay. I need to discuss with you this, it's like I box it in, but I don't really box the whole thing in. It's like, that's all it is. It's like I'm just saying example instead of putting a period. That's all that is for the example. Sorry, not trying to be tricky. So I want to talk to you guys about the different types of data. This is so important for us. The types of data we're going to carry throughout this entire class and throughout Stat 2. So if you're moving on to Stat 2, you'll see there's even more importance behind remembering this stuff more than just these 14 weeks here with me. So if I move too fast in this, just keep in mind I'm going to scan this in and I will post it. I even have one from last semester. I could just even post that to be even faster. So types of data. Types of data are so important for us. Okay, so the first thing I want you guys to do, and I'm just going to verbalize this, it's just a little task, and just do it off to the side. I want you to write a sentence. It's only for you. You're not going to show it to me. Write a sentence explaining the primary reason for taking this class. So you might be taking this class because your advisor told you have to take it for your major. You're taking it because you want to get a math credit and you think it's going to be an easy math class, or whatever it is, right? So quickly just do that. Write a little sentence out, just explaining. You're not going to show it to me or anyone else. So we kind of scribbled if you need. And then for each word in that sentence, I want you to write down the number of letters in each word. Some words are going to have 5 letters, some will have 1, some are going to have 3, maybe up to 10 even. Used a really long word. So as you do that, I'm going to start writing. Okay. So you're going to do that off to the side. Okay. We're going to look at that in a minute. So I just want to go over what a variable is. A variable is a characteristic. Whose value changes from one individual to another. So think about that. A variable. It's a characteristic that changes from one individual to another. Now let's go back to that statement you just wrote, explaining why you're taking Stat 1 this semester, okay? And you wrote the number of letters in each word. The number in letters each word is the variable, right? You see how it changes from word to word? How many letters? That's the variable. It's changing from each word, okay? So that's what we're looking at. And those possible values for the numbers of letters, like I mentioned before, it's 1, it's 2, it's 3, it's 4, right? So it's numerical. Does that make sense? You're representing each letter or each word with a number because it's the number of letters in each word. So that's what we call numerical data, okay? So that's the first type of data I want to look at. Numerical. Numerical has another word to go with it. And I don't want you to panic, but I'm going to tell you all different words and terms that you might see out there. So when you're using stats, maybe for your job, if you're just using it for this class or maybe another class, you're familiar with all the different terms. So I want you to leave here with a lot of knowledge. Numerical data is also what we call quantitative. All numerical data or quantitative data it's a meaningful number. And that's why I like to call it numerical, because it's a meaningful number, okay? So we can further describe numerical data into kind of 2 different categories, okay? So the first category is what we call discrete. These are finite numbers. And what this means is that these are separate points on the number line. Meaning if you visualize a number line, you have 0, you have 1, you have 2, you have 3, right? And ongoing. They're separate points, right? It's right here, it's right here. They're not in between. It's not 1.5, 1.75, 0, 1, 2, 3. That's what we call countable numbers, discrete, finite. Those are all different terms for that, okay? That's one way of describing numerical data as discrete data. The other way is continuous. Just as a little note, that example, that task we did by the number of letters in each word, that was discrete, right? So the word doesn't have 1.5 letters or 2.67 letters, right? It has 1, 2, 3 letters, okay? So my continuous data, this is also called my infinite data. And it's not possible to separate all the possible values into separate points on the number line. So what do I mean by that? just means that when I have a number line, I can't separate it out. So I still may have 0, 1, 2, 3 listed here. But what I'm looking at is 0.5. Whoops. And you can't really see the red much. Let me see if I do like a blue. So I got 0.5, right? And then I've got 0.50001, 0.500019, right? Do you see what happens? All these numbers are so close to one another because they're decimals, and decimals keep going smaller and smaller and smaller. It's just constant. That's continuous. Okay, that's infinite. It's not countable. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So usually when we see something continuous, this is a measurement. You're talking about a measurement in inches, miles, anything, right? You can keep going smaller, smaller, and smaller with that measurement to the point where you can't draw separate points on a number line because they're so close to one another. Okay? That's continuous. So when we're looking at numerical data, we have 2 ways of separating it out, discrete and continuous. And we just want to be able to recognize that. Okay. So an example of this can be, I'm going to do that thing where I do this. It's just example. It's like separating it out. And I apologize if that causes confusion. I've had that one other time many semesters ago. I want you to consider the length of this sentence. I'm putting here in inches. Okay, so how long is this if I had it all 1? Because I can't do that because I write too big and don't allow myself enough space. But if you were to measure this, it was all on 1, right? So if we were in person, it would be really big. It would be almost like 5 feet long because I write really big on the board. But I would want to know, okay, how long is this? Well, maybe it's 10 inches if I had it all spread out, end to end. I guess it would go off the page. So it'd probably be more like 12 inches, right? So if you're looking at that, it's not just 12 inches. It's probably like 12.354667 inches. You see what I mean? This is continuous. Okay. It's continuous because I have all these decimal places. That's continuous. The measurement's always continuous. Okay. All right. So the other type of data we have, I'm going to go on to a new page. So we talked about numerical and discrete and continuous on that numerical. And another type of data we have is called categorical. Oops, I'm running out of time. Let me just write this real quick and then we can pick up where we left off. Categorical data is what we call qualitative data. Okay, and this is a classification of individuals based on a characteristic. So here I might be talking about eye color. So I might say, oh, I'm going to categorize everyone by their eye color. Okay, if you have brown eyes, you're going to be in this group. If you have blue eyes, you're going to be in this group. If you have green eyes, this group, right? Hazel eyes, this group. Okay, so that would be categorical. And actually what we look at here in step 1, and I know I'm going over and I apologize, is we look at more of a yes, no question. So it's more like, do you have blue eyes? And either you do or you don't, right? So either you fit in the category or you don't fit in the category. Okay, guys, we're going to pick up here. I'm going to stop